Hi guys, and welcome back to Arsenal Army. So Arsenal have just beaten Brighton 3-0 in an impressive win. I'm gonna give my match reaction and also go through the players' performances. So starting with David Raya, he gets a 7 from me. He made a very impressive save in the first half. A very similar goal to what we conceded against Porto, but he's obviously learnt from that because he made a brilliant save, so a 7. The two centre backs, Gabriel and Saliba, they both get 8s. They were very impressive. Say Saliba just a little bit better than Gabriel in this game. He was very composed on the ball, Saliba, passing out from the back very well. But also Gabriel, one thing that stands out for me in the last few minutes, made a block and he celebrated like it was a goal. And that's one thing we have to love about this team. They celebrate a clean sheet like it is a goal, and you can see that from our past results with David Raya. I think now getting 5 consecutive clean sheets in a row, which is a record, I believe. So that's very impressive from our back three. So on to our fullbacks. Zinchenko gets the lowest score. Surprise, surprise, he gets a 6. He didn't have a horrible game offensively, but defensively he lost the ball twice, nearly leading to 2 Brighton goals. He also got skimmed by his winger a few times. It's something that you see when Kiwior and Tomiyasu are playing. They don't get into these situations where they look very vulnerable, and it also almost looks like teams are targeting that side as they know it's the weaker side. Um, I will say his progressive passing is good again, but I don't really think it's needed when Jorginho is playing in that holding role because he's doing the job that Zinchenko would normally do. But on to Ben White, he gets a 7 from me. He was kept quite attackingly, because the winger was pinning him into his own half. But defensively, done everything he needed to do, even putting a few good crosses. So he was the better out of the two. Onto the midfield three. So Rice gets an 8 from me, Mr. Consistent again. Didn't do anything too stand out in this game for the cameras, but all round game, box to box, he was running up and down the pitch. He got in some good attacking spaces and was defending well. So that's an 8. Jorginho in the holding role, he was great today. One of the best games I've seen him. Controlled the game. He also got an assist for Havertz's goal. That's a made in Chelsea goal, that. So thanks, Chelsea. Um, yeah, he was good. Broke the lines well. It's what you want from him. Obviously, he plays to his strengths where he isn't running up and down the pitch, and that's what we need in a way. And Odegaard, another 8. His final balls were great. Like his build up to the goals, he was involved in nearly all of them. So again, an 8. So on to our front three. Kai Havertz gets a 9 from me, man of the match performance. He had 3 goal involvements in 3 goals in the game, so all you can ask from a striker. He's aerially a threat. His build-up play is improving. He holds the ball up well, and he's finding himself in the right positions to score the goals now, which is also great. We all talk about wanting a striker in the summer, but he's doing the job right now for us, and he's looking like he's making the team flow, which is all you can ask for. Um, we will probably still need a clinical striker to be involved in the squad, but looking at it right now, for the right price, it's very hard to find one. On to Jesus gets a 7. He won us the penalty that got us up to 1-0. Uh, his dribbling was great. Lamptey could not handle him on the left hand side, but I will say he missed a couple chances, and some one was very easy to me. But that's what you expect from him. His dribbling is great, but his finishing isn't there, which in a way does suit him to be a winger rather than a striker. So I'm liking this role that he's in now. And lastly, Saka gets a 7, back in the squad from his injury. He done everything. He was back to his best basically. He scored his penalty. He done very well, and you could see in a way there was no burnout on him. That one game kind of gave him that rest he needed, and hopefully he can kick on for the end of the season. So Arteta made a few subs. The two that had long enough to impact the game was firstly Trossard. He gets an 8 from me. Obviously scored his goal. A lovely composed finish, dinking it over the goalkeeper. He celebrated, which I was a bit surprised with. But he did get booed onto the pitch, which I suppose is fair enough. And secondly, Martinelli. unlucky not to get an assist, putting a few good balls into the box. Brighton gave him space because they were chasing for a goal in the game. So it's always what you want, Martinelli in the spaces. He's clinical in those areas. It's always difficult for him when teams are compact. I feel like that's where Trossard kind of advances. But on Tuesday, we've got Bayern Munich as our next game. Always going to be an interesting one at the Emirates. So we're hoping for the best. So I'll see you then. If you liked the video, give it a like, give it a little subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.